And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna flap the hat one more time for the Eagles for the hard fight they did?
Let's go, birds fly, Eagles fly.
Let me talk my shit again.
What it do, what it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm clearly your humble, a lot less hostile host, Cassius Cliff. I'm not even going to ask y'all how y'all feeling. And before I even get into it, first and foremost, I do want to apologize. I understand that this video was coming late and I had to sit with this game. I had to sit with the L. I needed to actually sit with my feelings and my sentiments about this because I had a lot of emotions going into it. And I didn't want to really fire off the hip. I wanted to bring y'all my opinion and my synopsis of what happened on Sunday and not take up too much of your time. And as you see, I got a brown bag on my head. And that's, as you guys saw in that first clip, it was hard Sunday. That's an older clip, but that was another time when we got beat by Dallas bad. So that video specifically was perfect for how we're feeling this past Sunday. All Eagles fans, I'm sure a lot of us are asking, what is wrong with this team? Where's this team going? And how in the hell are we 10-3 right now? Because the beatdowns that we got the 2 past weeks, you would have thought we was 3-10. Really and truly. And for the people that are asking those questions, it's hard for me to not say, good point. It's hard. At least in this moment. Now, again, you see why I have a brown bag on my head. I do. Not only because I've been talking shit all season and I felt justified, given that we were 10-2 going into it. You know, beating the Super Bowl champs, the reigning champs to be specific, but beating a lot of teams over 500, some of the best teams in the AFC. But we took a beat down back-to-back weeks. I mean, we was ass last week. We was ass this past Sunday, just looking like a big old ass right now. And it's hard. And the reason why I got this brown bag on my head is that way you won't see my tears. Because this shit was tough to watch. Fortunate enough, there was bad weather, so I didn't go to where I usually watch the game at my cousin's crib. And I watched it by myself, and that was a blessing in disguise. Because, boy, we got humbled. We got beat down. And one of your best players, a former All-Pro in AJ, dropping the ball like this in the red zone, where the team had only one red zone trip for the entire game and did not cash in, this is how you knew it was about to be a long one. Especially given that Dallas was starting off fast, and you know how we do. We're not, fast starters in the slightest. And if we have been, it's been a long time since we've done that. Now, before I even get further into this, I do want to show y'all a clip and really just to show y'all how even one of our legends, Philly native, Gilly the Kid, is acting or how he felt during the game.
Good. We all know Dak Prescott ain't shit when it comes down to the big moment. He ain't shit. He'll never be Jalen Hurts. Never in his life. Fucking bootleg Tony Romo. And Tony Romo wasn't shit.
Yeah? Well, Dak looked like these shit on Sunday, and we looked like the ass that he came out of. That's just what it looked like. And right now, we got to wear that. So since we on the self-deprecating tip, we're going to look at what we did and how it virtually was ineffective for the entire game. Now, in these clips right here, you're going to see a lot of first and third downs and really some runs, some passes. I think mostly passes. But what you're going to see is, especially on this first drive that we had, I mean, it was 1st and 10, then it's 3rd and 16. And that's kind of like how the game went. A lot of mistakes on our own, some by the refs, I feel like were probably bullshit. But either way, we don't complain about the refs because it was literally 10 penalties to 7. So kind of a wash if you ask me. But really, we just beat ourselves aside from Dallas giving us a helping hand. Because on our opening drive, where we should have scored and cashed in, we didn't. We actually got nothing because Jalen fumbled on that try, which, especially with him running the ball himself, not typical for him. And I thought he had a good handle on the ball, but no, he lost the ball, and that's how that drive went. And from there, we really couldn't do a lot. I mean, I did mention we got one trip to the red zone, and I think we coughed that up as well. Obviously, I already showed you that drop by AJ, so that was not the trip to the red zone. But you had a fumble by AJ, a fumble by Jalen, and a fumble by Smitty. I think the one by Smitty really hurt my heart the most, purely because he already saw two of his teammates and fellow captains fumble the ball, and at that point in which he fumbled the ball, I mean, we're trying to get back into it, and he even protects the ball. He makes a point to protect it, and yet and still, let me fix my bag real quick. Yet and still fumbles the ball. I mean, if you're asking me when we should have had probably one of the worst games of the season, I would have not. The last team I want to have it against is Dallas, especially in Dallas, given that we never win in Dallas. I mean, it's been a while, to be specific. But as of late, we do not win in Dallas. And that's why I'm not too mad. I'm not too upset about splitting with them. It's how we split with them. Because yeah, you can have a split with your divisional opponent, which is fairly typical, especially in a competitive division like this one. But yeah, we took that first W, but they snatched this one. They snatched it and smacked us beside the head and said, "Get the hell out of here. It's our crib." And that's how they treated us. They treated us like little brothers. And we just begging at least to be respected by these guys. And they showed us zero respect. Zero respect. I mean, again, your three captains, your three best offensive options, weapons, skills positions, coughing the ball up in a huge game against a divisional opponent, to where you could take the lead and cement your divisional position as well as conference seeding. But now we folded like lawn chairs on Sunday night, and that's back-to-back Sunday nights. So hence the brown paper bag, because I don't want y'all to see me cry. It's not a good look. I'm not gonna hold you. And here's the one by Smitty. I mean, that was a backbreaker. Let me take this brown bag off. That was a backbreaker. It was a hard game to watch, and really, that's why I had to sit with this L, because I needed to gather my thoughts, and I want to be able to deliver to y'all in a way that was concise, or at least concise enough, and I wasn't using a lot of y'all time. Because as much as there's a lot to break down in this game, it's really simple. We didn't show up the way we needed to. Our captains didn't show up. The play calling didn't help us. We just didn't have the energy we needed to have, especially given that these guys were hungry. Obviously, they wanted this game. They needed this game, because had we swept them, it would pretty much been a wrap for the divisional positioning, and they would have pretty much been locked in as a wild card in the 5th seed. So given that they don't want to do that again, they came ready. And they clearly showed who was ready that day, and we wasn't it. Now, we did put up 13 points, and they put up 33, so they beat us by 20 points. Virtually an ass whooping. It is an ass whooping. And I mentioned, we had no offensive touchdowns. He had 2 kicks by Jake Elliott, and then he had a defensive touchdown. That was it for the effectiveness when it came to putting points on the board. And don't let anybody tell you any different. That's how you win the games. Putting points on the board. Yards are cool. Sacks are cute. Interceptions are great. Unless you're putting points on the board, this shit don't mean nothing. And I've been banging the table, and I've been preaching about this virtually all season. And really, once the offense started to, have its struggles and not start off quick enough, the creativity and the necessity for creativity in this offense is beyond dire. I mean, we're hitting critical points right now. We about to hit the red part where we need to be creative expeditiously. That is killing us. We're literally the team with the least pre-snap motions in the entire league when it comes to percentages before snaps. Meaning players moving before the ball snap, allowing you to understand and dictate where the defense is and where to go with the ball. We're dead last. Now, that is clearly why we're probably starting off slow, and it's hard for us to get out the gate when it comes to being able to put up any points on the board. So I implore you, I beg you, Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, fucking do some pre-snap motions and get more creative. Because you can't tell me your fake punt against Dallas is your most creative play. That's not even the offense being creative. That's not even the offense being creative. That's special teams being creative. So that right there is a crime. That's horrible. How do you expect to compete with teams that are number 1 in scoring? They're like number 3, number 5 in defense. And they're probably in the top percentages in terms of teams being creative and with pre-snap motion. Because that's literally like mostly all CD does. He's always moving pre-snap. But yet, our guys are statues out there. They're gargoyles at the beginning of the snap. And you're wondering why it's hard for them to get open or even abuse their matchups. Because their matchups know this is where this guy's going to be. I'm not going to be, as long as I know where he is before the ball snap, I'm at least in a better position than a lot of our guys on our side of the ball are. Because they're chasing CD around trying to figure out where he's going to line up. As soon as the ball snap, it's a race. And CD's winning most of those. This is pointing out someone specifically. But without the creativity for the offense, we're going to continue to struggle. We're going to continue to start off slow. It's going to continue to be hard to watch these games, at least in the first half. And we're going to continue to wait for the first half and that other shoe to drop for us to actually play ball. And that, to me, does not sound like a team that's going to go to the Super Bowl or even far in the playoffs. It sounds like a first-round exit, if you're asking me. Now, aside from this creativity by the special teams, this was our only other good play. In my mind, yes, you could nitpick and you could find plays in which Jalen made good throws. There was probably one good run by DeAndre Swift. Dallas Goedert, he had a decent game when he had his chances. But this is literally the only touchdown you scored in this game. A great play by Fletcher Cox, a great scoop and score by Jalen Carter. That is it, folks. That's it. And that, to me, that's just criminal. As a team that is not only Nick Sirianni being his third year with Jalen and his third year being a head coach, he's yet to have a losing season. This season's no different. But this offense and really its effectiveness in the run game and the pass game have taken a step back. Maybe more than one step back. And I've said this leading up to this point. This is not when you want to be figuring shit out and not playing your best ball. Because it will look like a first round exit. I'm not even being a pessimist. I'm being real. It's hard to play some of your worst ball in December and then turn it on in January. Where do you see that? Where has that happened? It seldom happens. I don't think ever has happened. I'd have to look at it, but again, we're talking about opinion based and compare the stats. But if you have eyes and you're looking at the Eagles, they're on fraud alert right now. And it ain't looking good. And we're really going to have to, in my eyes, get these last 4 games to beat the allegations. Do I believe that's very possible? Absolutely. The biggest threat is Seattle. Biggest threat right now is Seattle. I'm not going to say that I'm sleeping on the Giants or the Arizona Cardinals, but I'm not taking those guys seriously when it comes to giving us fits. Yes, I've seen how the season has gone. We've lost to the Jets. We've gone to the wire with other teams. But this is Philly. This is the Eagles we're talking about. This is December. This is when we play our best ball, or should be playing our best ball. So yes, we just got out the gauntlet, so to speak, and we didn't collect all the stones. We dropped the one against San Fran. We dropped the one against the Dallas Cowboys. These things happen. Going into the season, I probably would have expected, or at least hoped, that we went 3-3 in this tough stretch. 4-2 is great. Now, you just can't squander how you performed as a gauntlet and blow a game against the Giants or even Seattle. You just can't afford it. Not at this point. You got to bounce back, and I believe that these players and this team can bounce back. I do think, though, things are going to have to change. We're gonna have to get creative on offense, and really, we're just gonna have to play hard-nosed defense, because I feel like the defense didn't do the worst job. They were in a bad position because literally the offense having 3 and outs, not picking up first downs, coughing the ball up. We really put the defense in a bad spot, and with the defense really only allowing, aside from special teams, 15 points. No, I got my math wrong. 23 points because the kicker put up 12. He hit 4 kicks, 2 masterful kicks. One's from 60, one from 59. Those were dope. Those are great. I'm sure they're happy to have a good kicker. I don't think he's missed a kick all season. So he looks to be automatic right now. So 12 points by the kicker, and he put up 33. So that's 21 points from the offense. And we only put up 16 and not 1 point on offense. That's the game right there. That is how you lose. 3 red zone trips to 1. They cashed out every time. We didn't cash out the one time we went. They made 4 kicks. We made 2. We had 3 turnovers. They had 1. You can't expect to win. You can't expect to come back down from 10. We was down more by more than 10. I mean, literally, really and truly, a lot has to change. For me, mainly the offense and really its philosophy and creativity. I think that'll help the defense because they're out there too much. And now allow the defense to play a little more free instead of playing from behind or even trying to do too much to get back in the game. Because they made several stops against Dallas. But if you're making a stop on a 3 and out and then you're right back after the offense has a 3 and out, I'm sorry. These guys get tired. This is not a video game. This is real life. You can't expect your defense to be out there every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, because you're not moving the ball. That being said, I do again appreciate y'all tapping in. Continue to like, share, subscribe. It goes a long way. I'm sure y'all going to want to comment on this one because I had a lot of shit to say before the game. So, hey, come with it. That's why we're here. And really, we're here to enjoy this season. And we got 4 games. So we got a lot of season left, actually. Things are not cemented yet. Things are not determined yet. There's a lot of shaking up that can happen. And I'm just here to wait. I'm patient. I'm here waiting. We got 4 games, and then the playoffs start. We know we're in the playoffs. It's really how we're going to show up in the playoffs. That is the question. Who are we going to be? How are we going to look? And really, who are we going to show up that day? Those are the questions that the team and the players should be asking themselves. And the fans, we're just here. We're waiting to see it. Because here we're going to still support. We're still going to cheer. Still going to buy all the gear, all that good stuff. But what are y'all going to do? That is the question right there. That being said, again, I appreciate y'all. Continue to like, share, subscribe. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your more humbled and hostile host, Cassius Cliff. We out to the next one.